Hello and welcome back if you watched the first tour. And if you did watch the first tour when it came out, I'm really sorry and I urge you to not look at the date that was uploaded. This sketchbook took me literally a year to make for a lot of different reasons that I'll get into as we go into the sketchbook, but yeah, sorry it's been so long since my last upload. I do plan on actually uploading to this channel now. Let's try and get straight into this so that we're not here forever. But first off, the sketchbook is a Moleskine sketchbook. I actually have a new one to show you. I just got this. So that's all the info on it. Also, size comparison. Goodness, I always forget how thick the Moleskine gets by the time I'm done with it until I get a new one. And I'm like, oh, it's so itty bitty. Also, for stickers, I'm gonna put them on screen, but these and all these little ones are Mini Super Sticker Club, I think is the name of it. I'll put it on screen. And I'll also put this one on screen at the same time. I don't remember the artist for this one off the top of my head, but they're on Etsy. And then we have, these are just from Seattle, going and visiting Seattle for the first time, collecting random stickers. And then the artist Colette, I think is how you say her last name, maybe not. She makes like cool hair clips, and I got this off of like a sale that she was doing. And then for the back, these are all random stickers. I don't have a specific artist for any of these. These are all things I've picked up at cafes or in Seattle, whatever. This one I'm not doxing myself because I don't live there anymore, but that's cool. Voted for the first time this year. And then on the side I just have the date and then another thickness overview. So let's get into it. First off, the first page I usually leave until really last minute because I don't like to stress myself out with the first page. So this had some contact info on it, and then this is just the finish and start date, except you can totally see that I accidentally wrote 2004 and 2005 and then had to fix it. Yeah, this is just random stickers, nothing crazy. Honestly, I kind of hate the first page, but it's okay. I will leave the first page until literally the last minute, and sometimes I leave it until too long, like I did with this one, where by the time I'm trying to finish the sketchbook, I don't want to work in it anymore, so I just like paste random bullshit on the first page and then it doesn't look good. Can't really use this page in between. We have, this is also a recent page because the first like 3 or 4 spreads in this sketchbook I left until like last week to finish. These are just some studies of faces on like Pinterest and stuff, and then if you know, you're a real one, except I'm gonna tell you anyways. This is Gertrude from Pets Cats 2. And yes, she is supposed to look like this. That game has a very silly art style and they look very goofy, which I like. And I pasted this over this random face because I didn't like how it looked, so get a Gertrude instead. And yeah, just studies kind of outside of my usual style. This was actually, I think this is the last page that I did in the sketchbook. I did this like literally a couple days ago. I have Echo from Overwatch, just like studying her design because I love the shape language in her design. So just a quick little sketch of that. Random stickers to fill up space, random sticky note. Obviously really low effort for the first few pages just because I really wanted to get done with the sketchbook. Random sketch. Honestly, nothing to say about that. Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot going on in these first few pages. And then we have some Twilight studies. These were less about studying the like detail, but more so the colors of the game. Twilight Princess is one of my favorite games of all time. I loved it growing up, and I pretty consistently say that it's what got me into art as a child. So this was just me studying some of the colors, specifically like the bloom effect that it has. So these are fun, except kind of the only thing I don't like about this sketchbook, even though this is my favorite sketchbook and I have bought it consistently for like 10 years now, is that it does not handle watercolor very well. It kind of sucks the color out of any watercolor that gets on the page, so they're not as colorful as I'd like them to be. And then some more studies. I actually love how this one looks. Honestly, I like both of them a lot, but started out with this top one, which is a study of a random character from a Final Fantasy game. I don't know which one. It's whichever one was the MMO before the one that they have out now, which I think is discontinued. Like, I don't think it runs anymore. random character from that game, studying mostly like the way they stylize faces, and then I took that logic from this one and then applied it to this one, which was a sketch of a random face on Pinterest of an actual person, but trying to emulate some of the things that I learned from the first sketch. And yeah, I love how this came out. I just love the way they stylize faces in the Final Fantasy franchise, even though I don't play it. This is just here to prevent things from smudging or anything. I should probably spray these down with a sealant, but I haven't, so. Okay, so I'm just cutting in here. When I recorded this, I yapped about this for way too long. All you need to know is that this sketch was an inside joke about my cat waging war on bugs. That's all it is. I'm not gonna explain the whole story because it took up like 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. Anyways, let's keep going. This is another page that I did recently, and honestly I kind of hate it. I don't like any drawing on this page. I don't think either of these look good, but it's, you know, you start getting to an end of a sketchbook and you really want to move on, and so you get to a point where you just don't cover things up and you just, whatever comes out, which is probably what your whole sketchbook should be, but that's aside from the point. More random sketches. I think we're finally starting to get to more older stuff. Basically, when I start a sketchbook, instead of starting at the beginning, I will flip to a random page in the middle and then start from there and then just work around randomly, which is how I get these pages in the front that don't get done until really last minute. So now we're starting to reach things that have a little bit more effort put into them. I guess not as much this page, honestly. I don't know, it's a bunch of random colors, but I don't actually love any of the sketches on it, and I don't have much to say about it. I like this spread. I think this spread's pretty cool. Playing with some paint markers with no sketch, just kind of going straight in and having fun. And then this is kind of based on how I used to draw when I was in like middle school. Like, this is the art style that I really like. It was really heavily based off of a specific artist, and if I figure out who it is, I will put the name on screen, but she had a really specific way that she would draw lips and like eyebrows and stuff that I loved, and I like drew like that for years. So that's what this is supposed to be. And then we have some My Little Pony redesigns. These were for TikTok videos. I have Twilight Sparkle and then Starlight Glimmer, I think. If I'm being completely honest, maybe this makes me a fake fan, but I did not watch all of My Little Pony. I aged out of it as the show went on and didn't want to get bullied, so I stopped watching it. So I think Starlight Glimmer, like, I know she has a whole arc later on in the show where she like becomes good and stuff. I never watched any of that. I watched up until the first episode she was in, and that's it. Fun little redesigns. I actually like how the spread comes out. I usually don't like the drawings I make for TikTok videos, but I like that one. I think it looks good. More random stuff. Another thing, testing out some markers for video, and then a drawing of my cat that I love. I think this perfectly embodies her as a cat. I don't know, there's just something about it that's so silly and fun to me. And a bunch of swatches and stuff, testing out a bunch of different stuff. Oh my god, this is what I meant by flipping to the middle. This was the first drawing in this sketchbook, which is pretty far in. This was for a video for TikTok, and then random sketch and another drawing of my cat that I really like. I don't draw men a whole lot, so I don't know. It came out okay, I guess. I like this sketch a little bit more, but I don't know. I need to go back to like actually drawing men. I don't know, I stopped drawing them after like I used to only draw men, and then at some point like a few years ago I swapped over, and now I'm like the opposite, and I don't like drawing men. Random sketches. There's like nothing on this page. I think it was really art blocked at the time, so just random stuff. The whole spread probably took me like 5 minutes. Like, there's just no effort put into it. These were based off of expressions that I saw on like Pinterest, and then swatching some like glitter pens or something. Another page where I was pretty art blocked. This was a figure study that I then added wings to, and then another random sketch that I think I filmed a little bit for a video. More of those expressions off of Pinterest I was looking at, and then like random trash. Another sketch for video. I actually really don't like this. I mean, it's okay. It's not as bad as some of the other drawings I make for TikTok. That makes it sound like I hate every drawing I make. That's not true. But when I was doing the series of redesigns for My Little Pony, I was kind of trying to like experiment with my style a little bit, and I made the proportions a little differently than I normally would, especially like the noses and mouths, and I just don't like how they look. I tried to experiment like quite a bit, and I just didn't end up liking any of it. So yeah, I don't think the drawing is like horrible or anything. It's just I don't love the way that I stylized the faces for most of those redesigns. And then like a pony version of her, but this is kind of how I used to draw ponies when I was younger. And I went like 10 years of not drawing ponies, and then once I came back to it, I was drawing them the exact same because I haven't really like improved in drawing them in a long time. But I do put some effort in this sketchbook and in another sketchbook to kind of change the way I stylize them, to update it a little bit more, and I'm more happy with it now. Just normal sketchbook pages. This is probably one of my favorite spreads in my sketchbook. No particular reason, I guess I just really like how like loose these sketches are, and like the colors I used and stuff. Yeah, pretty big fan of this. Rosalina sketch. I think this is another one of the earlier drawings I did in this sketchbook, and I really like how it came out still, even though it's been like a year since I drew it. Maybe it hasn't been a year. I don't know how long actually. But I really like the colors I used. I love when I see artists draw her with a more like pinkish toned hair rather than just straight blonde, and yeah, the colors. I really like the colors. Also, Rosalina might be my most drawn character of all time. She's up there for sure. I think Mario Galaxy had like life-altering effects on me as a child. I don't know. Another sketchbook page with just random sketches, nothing in particular to say about this. All of this was like no like real pencil sketch under it, kind of just going in with like a red pencil and then like some pen. Really fast, like I think this whole spread probably took me like 20 minutes. More of those kind of face angles from Pinterest that I was looking at that, I don't know, they're okay I guess. Oh, I skipped a page. Another redesign one. I think this one's probably my least favorite from the My Little Pony redesigns, just because of her face. I just don't like the longer nose and like longer, slimmer face shape. I just don't like how it looks. I think I could do this a lot better if I had done it now. More quick sketches, nothing much to say about this, just having fun with some pencils for the first time in a while, and then random sketches. I don't think I did these on stream, but then I have a face I didn't like, so I put like a silly little fish over it. I hate this. I don't like this at all. Okay, look, before you judge me, I do redeem myself later because I end up needing to draw some tigers for a project later on that I'll also show on screen. So I learned later on how to draw tigers, but this is rough. I went in with pen without a pencil, like super confident that I knew how to draw a tiger. No, I don't. I don't know what's going on with this now. It's like not at all the right shape. So that looks rough, but I didn't want to cover it up. And then some random sketches over here. I have a drawing of my husband playing games at his desk because he didn't have a shirt on at the time, and I just thought it looked really silly. He's gaming. Another My Little Pony redesign. Another one where like the face, I just don't like the shape of it. It's just like strange. I don't know. Not much to say. I didn't fill up this page because I didn't want to. A Miku drawing that is like a combination of pencil and marker. This was pretty fun to do, and it came out pretty good considering I absolutely hated the way that the sketch looked originally, so that's fun. And then I pasted on like a bunch of colorful trash from like markers and stuff, and then I was planning on pasting something over it, like a drawing that I had made on different paper, but I never did. And I don't want to because I've been working on this sketchbook for like a year and I don't want to spend another day in it. Another sketch that I made for TikTok using paint markers. I actually really like how this came out. I do think she's kind of, I don't know, she kind of got like a fish face, which is okay, I like, but not intentional. More so, the thing that I do like about this is that I blended the markers a lot more than I usually would. I pulled out a like paintbrush and actually mixed the colors on like a separate piece of like plastic to blend them more, and I just really like the way it came out. And I also really like the colors I used in this. These are not colors I would normally reach for in a drawing. Really like how that came out. And then on this side I have a sketch of some of my OCs, but I don't like it and never finished it. This is Amit and this is Rin. I don't like it because Rin's face is just way too small, and also I have gone through so many redesigns of that character that I just never seem to like how he ends up looking. But yeah, I do like how Amit turned out, but it's okay. These were some flowers that my husband had bought me for my birthday this year that I just did like a quick little pen doodle of that I actually really like how it came out. So that's cool. And then just some random figure studies. These are just figure studies, but I figure anything that's showing in this sketchbook I'll cover up anyways, just because it's YouTube, and even though I do think it is allowed, I'll cover it up anyways just in case. But kind of a fun page. Some pen doodles on this side, and then a sketch that never ended up getting finished. I don't know what I was planning on drawing here, but I never finished it. And then these pen doodles, I actually love how this character turned out. I love the way I ended up drawing her hair here. It just looks so like flowy and nice. Same with her dress. Her dress came out really nice. Pretty proud of this considering it was a pen doodle and was not planned beforehand. We have more redesigns, this time of Applejack, which is fine. I think her face came out a little bit better than the other ones, but it's Applejack, and I don't think anyone ever knows what to do with Applejack. It's fine, whatever. Didn't draw her hat. I think I forgot. I don't know. And then I drew these on stream. They're okay. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but I've been like slowly working on like a mass model pony redesign video that I don't know if it's ever gonna come out. Don't take my word for it, but I'm trying. And I do actually have like some really good ideas for how I want to draw Applejack, and that I think will be really fun. Minecraft spread, there's like a creeper hoodie girl in the center. Just, it looks kind of bad because I pasted it directly in the center and I don't even really like the sketch in the first place. But it's just an excuse for me to put this like Minecraft paper and stuff in here. This is from that Minecraft like McDonald's meal. And don't worry, I didn't use anything that touched food. I don't know, I just wanted to keep some of the packaging because I thought it was funny. Sunset Shimmer. Sunset, is it Shimmer or Glimmer? Sunset Shimmer, I had to check. That's just me being dumb. I did watch those movies as a kid. This is fine. I think I underworked this because I was in a rush to post this video. Nothing here, didn't want to paste anything in. Bubblegum and Flame Princess. Actually really like how these look. These are really fun sketches. These are literally just pen sketches and then like went in with some paint markers and stuff. Super fun and flowy, and yeah, I don't know, I just like the colors I used, I guess. I have some cafe doodles and then a Miku drawing that I absolutely hate. I do not like this. I don't know what happened here, but I'm just not a fan of this sketch. And then some cafe doodles that I also don't love. I don't really like any of these that much, but I do like this one. I think this one came out really good. And once again, I'm not doxing myself because I don't live there anymore. And apparently this was my shopping list and what I was planning on cooking for the week. I like this one. I think this little chair one looks good, but I used to go to cafes very often as like a teenager and stuff to people watch and, you know, just draw random people and stuff. And I have so much harder of a time doing it now. Like, I just feel like I get nervous drawing in public, and also like inspiration for art is just so like, I don't know what the right word is, I guess like fickle or something, I don't know. It just comes and goes so fast that sometimes by the time I get to a cafe with the plans of drawing, I don't want to draw anymore once I'm there. Some random sketches that I have nothing to say about, just random fast doodles. So I was gonna say earlier, and then I never really got to it, that the reason that this sketchbook took so long is because I moved across the country during the process of it. Also, I love these sketches right here. I don't know if that's too much to show. It is just a figure study of someone. I don't know. I love how these came out though. Like, the stripes on these were just so fun to draw, and I actually really like how these character designs looked. They're pretty random. I don't know, maybe one day I'll go and like actually finish them or something, but super cute. Love those. And they were really fun to draw. Maybe some of my favorite drawings in this sketchbook. Also, Sonic Miku for these are to test out some paint pens for a TikTok video. And then random tigers. This is not the redeeming tiger that I talked about. This was based off of someone else's drawing that was on Pinterest, but it was not, they didn't credit the artist, so I don't know who drew it. I don't know. I have no idea. So I don't take credit for how nice and flowy this looks. Someone else did it first. And then this was a photo of an ocelot. But yeah, this is where I started studying them, and then later on I studied them a little bit more for said project that I ended up doing. And then also, this was like my first Sonic drawing in quite a while, so he looks a little rough. But later on I do learn how to make Sonic characters look good a little bit better. I've never played a Sonic game. I didn't have them growing up. I had Nintendo consoles only, basically, which meant it was, there just wasn't a lot of Sonic options on Nintendo consoles when I was younger, so never really played them growing up, even though I had friends that did, and I loved the designs of them, and I, as an adult, still love the designs of them. I think all of them are really cool, and they're very fun to draw. So, as I was trying to say earlier, during this sketchbook, I'm not sure when did I start this? Started this in May, so literally at the midpoint of this sketchbook, which was, I honestly had finished most of the sketchbook at that point, I moved across the country. I literally moved on like two opposite ends of the US. So, and it was an absolute nightmare. The people moving our furniture lost the truck that had our stuff in New Mexico at some point, and like the truck broke down basically, and it ended up taking an entire month for us to get our furniture. So we moved without our furniture and had to sleep on an air mattress for a month with no furniture, no cooking supplies, no nothing, which was an absolute nightmare. So that was rough, and by the time I got my stuff back, this was the first drawing that I made after like a month of not drawing. So honestly, came out pretty nice for not drawing in a month, but that was interesting. And then after that, things were very, very stressful IRL because our neighbors that we had moved in next to, we lived in an apartment not complex. We lived in an apartment that has like two available spots, right? And so the other people in our apartment, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not gonna get into it, but ended up being just like the most nightmare neighbors you could think of. Enough to a point where they got evicted very shortly after us moving here. We were dealing with that IRL, and then also some other IRL stuff going on. And it basically made me not work on this sketchbook for like 6 months. It was an absolute nightmare to get through. Anyways, that is to say, I have not uploaded in like 8 months or something, and I'm sorry. I just had a lot of stuff going on, and now I'm finally back to actually working on stuff, so hopefully there will be some new videos in the future. In fact, I do have some things that I have another sketchbook that I've fully filmed already that I want to upload in. Once we get to the end, I'll talk a little bit more about that. Tangent aside, let's get back into it. I made a princess bubblegum drawing and then a little tiny Marceline. My idea behind this was that they're at like a party or something, looking at each other from across the party. I just thought it was a cute idea. Flutterbat. I love how this drawing came out actually. I did like lineless for it and it came out really nice. I don't know, the colors meld together nice. More paint markers, by the way. And then I have some more pony drawings, and this is kind of what I meant by I try and refine the way I draw ponies a little bit more later on. This one specifically was really referenced from another artist. I don't know the name of the artist. The expression for it was, so I don't take full credit for that one, but I was trying to study how they made their shapes like so round and stuff. I don't know, it was really cute, but it was again on Pinterest, uncredited, so. Then these ones were not referenced, kind of trying to take some of those like rounder elements and apply them to how I draw ponies. Also, Fluttershy with short hair, super, super cute. I love how it looks. Continuing on. This is the tiger I was talking about. This ended up being a sketch for a weightlifting belt that I made for my husband that I'll show you guys in a second. Yeah, I ended up redeeming myself on tigers, figuring out how to actually draw them. And then a sketch that's not actually showing anything, but I wanted to cover it up anyways. I might use this as the thumbnail, who knows? Let me go get the belt for you real quick. Guys, check this out. It's a weightlifting belt that I painted on. So, sorry, it's kind of hard to like fit into the frame, but you can kind of see the sketch versus what I ended up getting. Yeah, that's super cool. I think the sketch turned out a little bit better than the belt itself, but that's okay. That was my first time painting on a material like that before, so it was definitely a learning experience, and my husband seemed to like it, so he uses it. Getting into some figure studies. This was based off of a pose on Pinterest, and then I think I added like the clothes and hair and stuff. I can't remember. I don't think that was a part of it. I think it was mostly just a reference for the pose, and then these were based off of, this was a picture of someone, and then this was actually a picture of a statue that I drew. I love how this came out. I think this sketch is perfect. I love it so much. One of my favorite drawings in this sketchbook. It's just like so soft and nice. I don't know. It's like I drew this with pen and it was like everything came together perfectly. Nothing went wrong. Now we have some more Sonic drawings. Another Sonic with Miku that was for a video. And then this drawing of Amy. Her feet come out, but I drew it too big for the page, so. But I love how this came out. I drew this like last week. It was one of the last things I added to the sketchbook, but really fast doodle, but I really like how it came out, and I am starting to get better at stylizing like Sonic characters' faces and stuff, so really like how that came out. This entire spread was for TikTok videos, both of these. These are both testing out some markers. The like enemy paint markers were both of these. I don't like how this one came out as much, but I do like the spread as a whole, and I really like how this one came out, even though I think her proportions are a little bit messed up, but I don't know, the blending came out really nice. Was starting to learn how to blend things more effectively, I guess, with paint markers, that is. Oh boy, I gotta like catch my breath before I even talk about this one. Okay, so basically, maybe I should cover this up for now. Back in May, it was my birthday, and one of my best friends of all time was able to visit me, and it was our first time being able to hang out in literally like 10 years. I think maybe more than 10 years. Because at some point, I had moved to a different state, so we didn't live anywhere near each other. And we're like just now able to actually hang out with each other as adults, right? And so we had a whole week planned out, and we were planning on doing hiking the whole week, but my truck exploded. It ended up like the entire engine, the coils, and the spark plugs all broke basically. And it was having misfiring issues, which ended up being a repair process that took the entire week. So that was our only vehicle. So all of our plans for hiking completely ruined. In fact, all of our plans for anything completely ruined because we didn't have a vehicle. So while my truck was in the shop, we decided to binge the entirety of Twilight to a drinking game. Same with H2O as well afterwards. So that's what this is. We had not watched Twilight like since it came out, so these rules were all based off of like a Reddit post or something. So I don't recommend them. They were maybe a little bit too much, especially this one right here. Really underestimated the sparkle time. So I ended up making a spread for it to commemorate what we ended up doing that week. And no, I am not encouraging bad things, YouTube. I'm not encouraging anything. Don't do it. So yeah, I drew Emma and then pasted in that one image of the wolf ripping its shirt off in the background. We have another drawing for TikTok, another one using the same paint markers as before. It came out okay. I don't love it, but it's fine. This drawing was pretty rushed when I made it, so. And then a drawing of Marceline for the next few pages in a little bit. There's like 2 more spreads of just Marceline because I started doing figure studies, but figure studies get a little bit boring, so what I like to do is like I'll draw random characters as the figure study when I'm done. So for these ones I was doing Marceline, because with Marceline you're like just adding hair, like that's all you're doing. You're just drawing the figure and then adding hair, which is really fun. And I end up basing them a lot off of like Rebecca Sugar's drawings of Marceline that I love. I think they look so nice. She just has a way with making everything look so flowy that I cannot replicate. So anyways, these end up being really fun. I actually really like how this one came out. This one might be my favorite. Her hair is just so fun to draw. We have a rose quartz sketch that I never ended up finishing. I like the top half, but I don't like the bottom half. Because I don't know, it never went anywhere. But so that's fun. And then a random sketch that I actually really like this top area right here. I think that looks really fun. Just kind of a watercolor doodle. And then I have mini super sticker clubs of stickers from the beginning. There was like a piece of tape that was on the packaging. That was also the exact same size as a fortune cookie thing, so that's fun. And then here's those Marceline drawings I was talking about. All of these were like done with like a little rainbow pencil and then just went in with pen afterwards. More of those. The spreads are kind of boring that they're on, but they are so fast to do. They take like 5 minutes each, and then bam, you've got a bunch of pages taken up. And then this is the second part of the game. Once we finished Twilight, we moved on to H2O. So I drew some mermaids, just fun little sketches, and then I drew me and my friend as a mermaid. This is me, this is her. She's very short, and she might watch this video, and if she does, I love you. If you want to see the rules for that, you can as well, but honestly, these were not as good. We've never watched H2O, which is funny because we absolutely roleplayed that we were mermaids that would turn into mermaids if we touched water as kids, and we're playing mermaids in the pool. But yeah, we've never actually watched H2O, so that was our first watch, and honestly wasn't great. I thought it would be like funnier than it was, but I don't know. I think it's one of those shows where if you didn't watch it growing up, it doesn't really hold a place in your heart, you know? Maybe the world's biggest H2O fan in the comments will kill me for saying that, but yeah, I don't know. It was okay. There's a hair stuck to it. Come here. I can't get it. And then we have, this was kind of a vent drawing, and I had more vent stuff written under it, but then I pasted a tomato over it because it was kind of cringe, and tomatoes make me happy. And then this was a drawing that isn't really showing anything, but I covered up anyways. This was a study of a painting. It's an older painting from an artist. I'm not sure what their name is off the top of my head, but just a study of one of his paintings because I liked the way that he painted the fabric in it. It was like a really sheer fabric that I thought looked really cool. And then, so it's just picture dishes, but the reason that this is event pieces, I've had a lot of IRL stuff going on the past like month that's been very, very, very stressful. Like some of the most stressful things I've ever had to do. And I noticed that when my mental health drops, the first thing that is noticeable in my house is my dishes. I will stop doing the dishes when there's things going on. So I had like a pile of dishes sitting on my counter, which has now been dealt with, and I'm finally feeling a little bit better. But so that's what this was about. This was a charcoal drawing that I then sealed. By the way, guys, I know sometimes I get comments of people that are like, how do you get your sketches to not smudge? If your sketch is smudging, get a sealant and just put the sealant over it. Look, I can literally go like that and there's nothing. And this is charcoal, so just get a sealant. You can literally get like a clear sealant. You can get glossy, matte, whatever. You just spray it outside. Just be careful because it's not good to inhale. Spray it outside, let it dry, you're good to go. So yeah, I had some more vent stuff, and then I pasted this tomato over it, and tomato season because it's tomato season right now, and I love tomatoes. I love a good tomato sandwich, and I don't know if anyone's gonna know what I'm talking about, but I grew up eating tomato sandwiches. I got taught how to make them from like my grandparents, so they're a pretty old like southern USA thing. It's literally just mayo, salt, pepper, and a tomato on a sandwich. That's literally it, which sounds diabolical if you've never had one, but I swear they're really good if the tomato is really ripe. That's what this was about. Makes me happy. Put it over the bad stuff. And then we have Mario Kart has been on the brain. I don't have a Switch 2, and I want a Switch 2 so badly because I want to play the new Mario Kart really badly because I loved Mario Kart growing up. But I didn't like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I thought it kind of sucked. And the new Mario Kart looks really, really fun. And my issue with Deluxe is I didn't do anything new, and the new Mario Kart looks like it does. So I'm really, really excited to play it eventually. I haven't bought a Switch 2 yet though. So that was on the brain. And then some glorps, a cataquack. Getting better, I can feel that shit in my bones. It's kind of what I mean by like the last page. Like in between this page and this page, a lot had happened, and I am just feeling a lot better than I was. So that's what that's talking about. And then my hot cocoa betrays me. This also has a whole story. This is my hot cocoa mug. As I did an order for groceries, and I looked up like hot cocoa pods, like the kind that can go in a Keurig, and I bought the first thing that showed up that was like a double hot chocolate, chocolate or whatever, and I thought it was a pod. First off, it wasn't a pod. It was regular hot chocolate, which is fine, whatever. I just wanted the pods because they're convenient and I like to use my Keurig when I can, I guess. So it wasn't a pod. And second off, it said double hot chocolate. It wasn't double hot chocolate, it was dark chocolate, and I don't like dark chocolate, and I was so sad. I made myself a hot chocolate and then I drank it, and I couldn't even drink it. I had to throw it out. It made me so sad. So that's what that's talking about. My hot chocolate was ruined. And we're getting to the end now. This was a sketch that I did like last week, and then my apartment is on fire and I am melting. A drawing of me and my cat sitting in front of a fan. I forgot to mention earlier, when we moved to a place where it's more common for apartments to not have AC than to have AC. So our apartment doesn't have AC and it's midsummer and I am melting. And I don't want to pay for like a window AC unit, and there's not a lot of options to even put a window AC unit in this apartment, so I haven't done that yet. And it's really hot, and you would think, me being from Florida, that it would be fine and that I would be used to the heat, but it's actually the opposite because everywhere in Florida has AC. So yeah, drawing of us melting. It's been okay though. It's only been like a few really bad heat wave days, but yeah, just funny little drawing that I really like this. I don't know, it's cute. And then these were some drawings of like some people on Pinterest, but then I also, this is what I mean by like the figure drawing thing. These were regular figure drawings, but then I turned them into something else, and I made like this little alien space girl kind of situation, and put these little alien stickers and stuff, and they're like sparkly, gave her little antennas. I like how this came out. I think this is really cute. Is there anything else in here? And then this is kind of reminds me, like this is like, I used to draw a lot of like no face figures like this when I was in like high school and stuff. It's like a really easy default that I can go back to, but maybe a little bit boring, but whatever, just having fun, no sketch, just kind of, you know, playing around with paint markers. And you know what these colors remind me of? Guys, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I was like a feral little animal, and I would get all of the Play-Dohs and I would mix all the colors together and smush it together, and it would turn into this. Like, that's the color it would end up. That's what that reminds me of. And then there's nothing over here. I have like a couple pages left, but like I said, I really want to move on to a new sketchbook because I've been in this one for a year and I just don't want anything to do with it. And there's a random sketch back here. And I think there's some trash in there, but I'm not gonna look at it. So, oh my god, that's everything. That's the whole sketchbook. Wow. Again, I'm so sorry for the wait, but I do have some other things. If you made it this far, first off, thank you so much. I really appreciate it if you watched this whole video, and if you watched my last video, also thank you so much. That video did way better than I ever expected it to, so that was really awesome and I really appreciate it. And if you haven't watched my last video but you liked this tour, you should go look at my last video. It's another tour of another sketchbook just like this. And guys, I have another sketchbook. I did a 1-week sketchbook like months ago, and I filmed it and edited it, and I never posted it because I wanted to post this one first. So if you're interested in seeing this, I already have a video ready to go that I haven't put up. But I don't know, I wasn't very confident in the video, I guess, so I never uploaded it, even though I still have it. It has stuff like this in it. It's not as colorful, but it does have a lot of really fun sketches. It's probably one of my favorite sketches in it. But ooh, I am dangling keys in front of your face so that you comment on my video that you want to see another sketchbook tour. Comment on my video. I'm I'm making you comment. I'm hypnotizing you with this. Yeah, I don't know. I've got another sketchbook. I got a ton of comments on my last video saying that they wanted me to do a draw with you, which I did try filming one and it didn't come out great, but I think I learned a lot from it, so I might do a draw with me video for this because I haven't yet opened it, and I have a sketch in mind for like the first page. I think I want to tackle the first page first on this one instead of waiting until the last minute. Thank you so much if you watched this video all the way. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support in the last video. Again, like I said, I was able to like get my channel monetized and stuff off of it, which is very, very helpful for me to continue making videos. So I really appreciate the support, and also thank you to everyone that came over from different platforms, because I got a ton of comments saying that that they had seen me on TikTok and found me on YouTube as well. So really appreciate it. And if you made it this far, have a good day, and I love you.